What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are having a great day so far. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Yeah, Wednesday, halfway through the week. All right, hope you guys are all great. Hope you brought your tissues. Yeah, this is a sad one. This is a tough case. Judge Simpson. It's not the only case I'm playing, but it's majority of the video. We got a couple other ones after that. We got Judge Fleischer, and then we have... Who did we finish with? I don't remember. I'll remember before we get to it, though. But, yeah, first one's tough. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Court does call the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Seth Highmore.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ashley Lonnie for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dan Guerin on behalf of Seth Highmore. Seth, can you state your name to the judge, please?
Seth Highmore?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Your Honor, we are here for a sentencing. I'll start first with there are no factual corrections of the information. I understand there's victim statements. Would Your Honor like to hear those first?
Yes.
Certainly. We'll have a seat at council table if that's okay.
Yes. All right.
Your Honor, I believe we'll have 3 statements this morning.
That's fine. All right.
First will be victim's mother.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well.
Good morning to you.
Can you state your name for me, please?
I'm Gina Cornett, Jeremy's mother.
All right. I'm Earl Cornett, father. All right. Very good. All right. Go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, it's been 2 years on Friday.
Let me just stop you for a moment, okay? Do me a favor. Just make sure to take a deep breath. Take whatever time you need. I'm here all day, so you just
Okay.
I want you to tell me what you want to tell me. So,
Okay.
all right. So don't try to rush through or anything. Go ahead.
Well, like I was saying, Friday it'd be 2 years that our son was killed in a horrific car accident. And you can't even imagine the loss that has happened to us in our family, the void that has been put in our lives. We don't have our son with his kids to visit us every weekend. We miss him on the holidays, especially Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. There's such a void. What has happened has impacted not only us, but our grandchildren. Jeremy's daughter, Aubrey, you know, she's had to have counseling because of the horrific feelings that she's had to feel losing her dad. And Dominic kind of suppressed right now. And she has seen a psychiatrist, Aubrey has. And I like to say to Seth Highmore that he has to carry his cross for what has happened. I don't hate him. I forgive him. You know, I forgive that. I can't even imagine. But I just forgive him, and I just hope that down deep in his heart, he realizes the impact that he's done to this family. Our son didn't have a chance. He was just killed so fast and instantly. It just was horrible. And here's a picture of our son, Lord, Your Honor.
My eyes were better, but
I would like everyone to see his face. He's a happy-go-lucky kid. And I just feel, Your Honor, that whatever you decide on Seth's sentencing, my feelings is that, I feel that he don't have to do whatever the max time that he has, but I feel he should at least do 3 months in jail to think about what he done to us. And I think that that's fair enough because he needs time to think about this. He does not even probably realize the impact he's done to this family. And I just want to say that I don't hate him. I pray for him, but he should be able to realize that what he's done has just been horrible. And that's all I got to say, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I've been thinking about this for 2 years. It's been very hard. There's 2 officers come on that night at midnight, knock on the door and give you some terrible news that your son was killed. I talked to them for 10 or 15 minutes and they left. And I turned around to my wife. I goes, what did they just tell me? It didn't register in my mind. And since then, I've been on anxiety pills 2 years now because it was such a shock, I guess, to me and the children and our family. A parent shouldn't have to bury their own child. He was our only son and have to bury him. It was terrible. And in this crash, Your Honor, he set his car on autopilot at 70 miles an hour, driving into Ann Arbor in rush hour. Everyone who lives in Michigan knows Ann Arbor traffic is backed up both ways, coming and going. And he did this in the middle of the afternoon. And I think he needs some common sense. I think common sense should have told him better than that, Your Honor. And I'm going to leave it to the discretion of the court and probation, the sentence, and I'm not going to recommend anything. And I'm going to say that my wife and me will pray for the Highmore family because I know it's cost them a lot too. A very, very sad thing. And I want to thank you, Your Honor, for listening to us.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right. So they kind of told you what happened. The defendant caused a car accident, and unfortunately, the 2 victims' son passed away. Yeah, I'm not really going to add too much more to this. I think you guys can put the pieces together. You don't need my input. I do still have to pause it every so often to abide by the rules, though. All right, let's keep going.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Sherry Krogel, and I was the deceased was my boyfriend at the time. We were on the phone when it happened, so for 2 years, hearing on and off, trying to figure out what was going on. I've went through a lot of different emotions on how I feel on the situation. He was my best friend. You can't get that back. But I don't personally feel that all lives should be ruined. So for me, what I think would be more beneficial, and I don't know if it would even be able to be a consideration, is that he was to have to take time out of his life to go to like a driver's ed or school and talk about, you know, just 1 second of not paying attention. Because if it could change one person's life for the better. That's what I think. I don't think more lives need to be ruined over an accident. That's it.
Thank you.
I have nothing further from the people.
Oh man, could you imagine being on the phone when that happened? Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I'm glad they don't go into details on what happened. This isn't the trial, this is sentencing, but man, I'm not crying, you're crying. It's you. It's Mimi. She just showed up and we're all crying.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Your Honor, I say without any hesitation that, you know, the two most difficult tasks and I think most defense attorneys face are, one, standing up after a victim statement that was, especially one with such grace, humility, and you know, emotion that those poor people had to go through. And I certainly extend my sympathies to them on behalf of Mr. Highmore. And secondly, is to try to make sense of these types of cases, these types of charges, which I think we all agree in the system are the most emotional, most difficult cases to sort out. Because they are the only, or if not the only, one of the only offenses that bring accidental and negligent conduct into a criminal courtroom like today. But we're ready to deal with that. And I want to start with some cold and sterile requests, Your Honor. One, I think I mentioned, Your Honor, in chambers, I would ask Your Honor to either order restitution today with the condition that may be revisited if, in fact, that was contemplated in the civil lawsuit that was settled, or to reserve restitution for a short amount of time while I talk to the insurance attorney. Secondly, Your Honor, of course, I'm asking you to follow the recommendation. I can't sit here and say I'm asking to impose jail time on my client. That would be difficult for me to say, but I do think that Ms. Polera.
They'll get into that. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, so I'm not going to answer, but they do get into that.
Understands her role very well and made a very good recommendation here. And if Your Honor believes that jail time is appropriate, my client's ready to go in today, of course. Your Honor, I will say this. As we look at the conduct here, I think that the victims are probably searching for an answer as to what happened. I would be too, if my loved one was killed or injured, and I don't think we're ever going to be able to offer that. Mr. Highmore doesn't have much of a memory. The police investigation didn't show that he was doing anything by way of reckless conduct, drinking, using drugs, using his phone. They checked all of those things. I think this was a situation in which Mr. Highmore simply either zoned out, didn't pay attention, and possibly we've learned a little bit about his medical condition since. He had worked a 14-hour shift in the sun, dehydrated, and certainly his actions have resulted in the death of this poor young man. I will say, of course, Your Honor, that Mr. Highmore has no prior criminal history, no subsequent criminal history. This was, of course, 2 years ago. I think Ms. Pilar noted that my client has shown remorse. He can't say a lot, unfortunately, because of potential civil liability. But I think his emotion, his family, all of whom are here, have written letters to say what a good young man this was and is. And I think,
Shannon, we don't know a ton. We didn't see the trial. At least I didn't see the trial, or if there was a plea or anything. I didn't see any of it. Or if I did, I didn't remember it. But the defendant, this guy, he caused a car accident which ended the life of somebody else. So he hit a car and it ended their life. Now they just said it, so I don't have to worry about spoiling it. He wasn't under the influence of anything. Just simply didn't pay attention for a second and hit a car, and yeah, massive tragedy happened. But this is the sentencing right now.
will be affected the rest of his life. He's lost his privileges to drive. He's convicted, doesn't pale in any way in comparison to what the victims have gone through here. But I think that the impact on him has been profound. I think that the victim's mother, her desire for him to be impacted, I think will come true and has come true, and that he has been greatly impacted. So, Your Honor, I am ultimately asking you to follow the recommendation with those modifications.
Miss Levy.
Yes, I saw. Thank you, Your Honor. As to the restitution issue, just so the record is clear, the restitution that's been recommended by probation to be ordered was simply for the funeral expenses for the victim. So there was a civil lawsuit that may or may not have included those funeral expenses. Certainly did include other monies paid, but that is, just so the record is clear, the only thing that probation ordered was for the funeral.
And as indicated, Your Honor, certainly we would never challenge the amount. It's just whether that was covered. And if not, then that will be certainly a part of my client's order to pay back immediately.
Well, let me just deal with that. The record should reflect that I had a in-chambers conference with counsel. That issue was raised, and I will say that I'm going to order that restitution amount today. If it was covered either by an insurance or through some lawsuit, then one of two things then would happen if that was indeed paid, well, specifically directed toward those expenses. And so I want to be clear on that. If out of the settlement, the family used some of those funds to bury their child, that doesn't count in my book. It would have to be something that would have specifically been directed toward those expenses. If that was paid, then one of two things would happen to the amount paid by the defendant. Either it would go back to the defendant or would go to the insurance company, which paid the funds to the family. So,
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you for that clarification.
Let me just say at the outset, I think particularly to both families, all the years I've been on the bench, these types of cases, either in terms of adjudicating them or in terms of sentencing, are absolutely the worst. And they're the worst from my standpoint because in a lot of ways, sometimes you have sort of, I don't want to really call it good and evil, but you have somebody who is bad, and it's easy to then point the finger and to do something. But typically, and as I was going through the defense's letters that he sent in, and hearing about him, I would just indicate that, and then hearing about the deceased in this case, these aren't bad people, either side of it. And so it becomes problematic sometimes for the court. I'll say problematic, but it's what I have to do. I have to find some balance in terms of what I do. Before I continue, I guess, sir, is there anything you want to say? I do have to offer that to your allocution.
Yeah, I would just like to say that I am extremely sorry for what happened at the incident. And if there's anything I could do to change it, I promise I would. And that's all, Your Honor.
I will tell you folks, I have been thinking about this since the time of the plea. Particularly last night, it was what to do was weighing very heavily on me. And I could just share one thing with you, and I have certainly other thoughts. But as I was thinking about your family, and I had not met you, I don't think I had ever laid eyes on you. But I was sitting there and I received a text from my son. And it was something silly. I mean, he had charged my Amazon account for something he was buying. And he wanted to pay me back and put it back into my account. I thought about it for a minute, and it doesn't really mean much, but I told him it didn't matter to me. And it didn't matter to me because I heard from him. And I thought about you guys. And just the sadness that you don't get that text message. I don't know. I can't even imagine how you guys feel. People can say, though, that they want to put themselves in your place and can't imagine it, can't do it. I don't think you can be there till you're there. And then you don't know. To listen to Dad say that there were two officers talking to him, and it's just not registered. I don't even know how you receive that kind of news. And what's difficult, certainly, is when, and hard to explain and hard for human beings to accept, is when the natural order of things are in place. We're not supposed to bury our children. We're just not. And it really almost calls, when something like that happens, for you to try to figure out the world. Like I said, I have never met you before, but ma'am, you're a testament to what is good. I don't know the strength and the courage it took. Sir, you need to realize the extraordinary gift she gave you today. Because I don't know, I'd like to think of myself as a good person. But I don't know that I could get there, stand there, give a victim's impact statement where this had happened to my child and ever forgive you. And for her to come here and basically that's the first thing out of her mouth. There's probably nothing greater than a mother's grace. Ma'am, I thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Certainly with me today. Every day I always expect that there's going to be a miracle. I never know what it's going to be. Your words, in my mind, were that today for me. And to his girlfriend, I would just say, I can't imagine And I wasn't aware of it till you said it, that you were on the phone with.
This is a good place to pause. I'm trying to pause as little as possible, but I do still have to pause it every once in a while. Car accident. The defendant wasn't under the influence of anything. I think the details were he had his car set on cruise control during high congested time. I think it was during rush hour, hit another car, and unfortunately someone passed away. So this is the sentencing of that incident is what's going on. Let's see. The victim impact statements were the mother and father and the girlfriend. So what Judge Simpson was just talking about is the mother came up there. She forgave this guy. So that's what he was talking about, the gift that she gave him. All right, I think that sums it up.
Just trying to move on. And that's hard. And again, I don't know where, when that happens, you even begin. I respect all of you in terms of your courage to come forth and to give those statements that you gave.
I don't know because I don't know what he pled to. I don't know what charge he pled to. So there's a minimum and maximum that he can be sentenced to. I know what his sentence ends up being. So I think he probably pled to a high level misdemeanor. And I think the sentence is I don't know. I think the sentence is appropriate due to how Judge Simpson handles it. Let's say that.
And for waiting all of this time as our system kind of worked itself through to even get to this day. I realize no matter what I do, with all the power and all the everything that comes with this robe, I can't do the thing that I would wish to do most. And that is to bring back your son and your best friend. I don't have that power. God knows I wish I did. I can only try to make it as right as I can. And sometimes people come to court and they don't think that they're listened to. And I heard every word that each of you said. And I will tell you that even into this evening and certainly thereafter, your words, your grace will be with me. And I will hear it over and over. I don't think you guys realize, and again, like I'll say it again, I don't know you when you got up here, all three of you. You guys are extraordinary. It sometimes is not what I get when victims give their statements. Dad, I'll tell you one thing that I did, so I'll just disclose it. You had numerous conversations with Miss Fleischer, my probation. And as I was going through that, I would always ask, and maybe I did this because I'm a dad myself. And I would always ask Miss Fleischer when I'd see her in the hallway or I'd see her wherever, how's Dad doing? And she'd tell me that sometimes you were here, and then sometimes you were here, and then sometimes you were here. And all of that was normal. but I wanted to let you know that I was checking on you. Can't make it better, but Miss Polera was sending that information through to me all the time. And for all of you, what I do is I just wish you peace. It is a sentence of the court. I'm going to place you on 24 months probation. You are to pay $855 fines and court costs, $720 probation oversight fees, $4,291.20 restitution to Earl Cornett payable through the court. When can you pay that?
Take a little time, Your Honor, but I will make sure it's paid off in full as soon as possible.
Do you have anything with you today?
I'm due, but I'm not exactly sure the exact amount. I'm going to be getting a loan from my family to help pay it.
From who?
My family, Your Honor.
So that right there was a little frustration shown by Judge Simpson. This happened 2 years ago. It's been coming. I mean, he's known this is coming. He hasn't been in jail awaiting sentencing, and he doesn't have anything. Now, I don't know what the circumstance was leading up to this. He may have been on house arrest, so he wasn't able to work. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like he should have came prepared to pay as much as possible today.
How much can be paid today?
Do you want your dad to try to answer that?
Yes.
Your Honor, may his dad help with that answer? That's okay.
That's fine.
Scott, all right. It's indicated 500 today, Your Honor. They have 1,000, Your Honor.
$1,000 today. I wanted it immediately checked into regarding the restitution so that when that $1,000 is paid, if the restitution is to go to the family, I want that to go to the family. I'll deal with the fines and costs probation. I don't care. But
Do you want that $1,000 put into bond for right now to hold it until we know, Judge?
yeah, I want it held until there's a determination. If it's supposed to go to the family,
I see. So it can be paid towards restitution.
it can be paid toward restitution, and then we'll figure it out. But it won't be much, but we can do that. That amount needs to be paid in cash. So however they have to make that happen, it's got to be paid that way so that it can be paid out to the family.
Then, Your Honor, I'll try to get the answer from the insurance attorney as quickly, maybe even today if possible.
Very good. There is to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You are to complete a driver improvement course as directed by probation. Going to, when it says that that people aren't listened to, and I'm sorry, ma'am, what was your name again? I did not write it down, and I'm
Sherry.
Sherry.
Sherry and Gina, Your Honor.
All right. Sherry, I'm going to take your recommendation to the court. It struck me as something, when you said, I don't want to ruin everybody's life, but maybe something good can come out of this. I say we give it a shot. So one of the things that I'm going to order is that I'm going to increase the number of community service hours. And I'm going to order 250 hours of community service, specifically with the extra 150 that I've added, I want that directed toward community service and talking to kids about how to operate a vehicle safely and to pay attention and what the consequences of not doing that can be. Understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that meet kind of what you were thinking of? I'm also going to order an added condition. I realize that his driving privileges in the state of Michigan are suspended, but I'm going to order no driving so that if he is caught driving in any respect whatsoever, that would be a violation of his probation as opposed to some sanction from the Secretary of State. Regard to jail, incarceration. The recommendation here is for the 45 days. When I walked out, I will tell you, certainly because I was going to listen to everybody, that I had not decided whether there was going to be any jail time, whether there was going to be the maximum amount of jail time. But I think Mom's right. Whatever happened, because there's not really an explanation, which is probably also difficult. It might be easier even if one were to hear, I wasn't paying attention and this would happen. Just something. But it's just absent. There's nothing. Over 365 days in jail, credit 4 days. And will indicate that defendant will be remanded to the Washtenaw County Jail. I am changing the recommendation of probation. Defendant will serve 90 days. And during those 90 days, I hope you take the time to do with that woman that bestowed grace upon you today of forgiving you. That you do that. That you think about this. And that you think about what has happened and just what your inattention, inaction, what that does to this family, what it's done to your family. So he will serve 90 days. The balance of that time will be suspended. There is also defendant is remanded. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lundy, for gracing our courtroom. Day you're not normally here. Okay.
Under different circumstances.
Absolutely. You folks take care of yourselves, please. These folks.
I'm Jeremy's aunt, Tammy.
Your most important title, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good meeting you.
Jeremy, may I approach an unrelated matter?
You may.
Under with me.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm glad you're doing your family too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Next time someone say I love you.
You know what? I'll tell you a secret. I told him he didn't have to pay me the money back that night. And this morning on my way out, as I was coming here, because I knew I was dealing with this, I texted both my son and my daughter. Told them to have a great day and that their dad loved them. Thank you. It is done. Take care. Take care.
Oh,
Oops. I just fast forwarded a little bit. Realized I didn't cut the end of that off. I was starting to think that when it was going for so long. All right. I don't know what to say. You guys all saw the same clip. I said earlier that I think that Judge Simpson handled the sentence correctly. I respect it. Adding 150 hours, that's 250 hours of community service is 6 weeks. And he has to do a lot of that talking to kids about the dangers of driving a car. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I don't have to say much on it. You guys all saw it. All right, let's move on to Judge Fleischer. Judge Fleischer. Change the tone up a little bit, shall we? Okay. All right. Put the tissues away. No more crying. No more crying. All right, let's go. Oh, I did want to do something because I almost forgot. I actually did forget, and then I just saw it. Jonathan Smith, I hope you're still here. I saw this right at the beginning of the stream and meant to call you out when I first paused, and then I only paused it, 4 times during that video, and yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here. 1 month is awesome. Okay, now let's go with Judge Fleischer.
so it's the same issue with another case.
Well, we just.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, so we got it done. We got the parole hold lifted, even though they were like, man, we don't want to. Everything was great and dandy until Friday afternoon, when
What happened Friday?
the client decided he wants to withdraw his waiver. And so I explained everything. I was like, hey,
You here?
yes,
Okay. Do you mind bringing him out?
I'm just,
I don't even know. What's the name?
Broderick Davis.
Davis.
Number one, he's gonna try to fire me. He wants to talk about firing me. I already talked to the
Okay.
MAC and was like, hey, how do you wanna, they were
This
like.
isn't Burger King, man.
Okay, so, and then secondly, he wants the waiver withdrawal.
Okay. Well, hold on a second. I mean, I still
Right.
can deny it.
Right, you're right, you just have to talk to him.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let
I
him.
think our big thing is that I have been urging to not withdraw, like to keep it, because we're finally moving.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if he wants us to get a governor warrant, we'll get a governor's warrant. Huh?
It's been over 100 days and like, he's had the waiver in place, so we were proceeding as if the waiver was in place and that we would get the parole hold lifted so that Kentucky can come get him, but as soon as the parole hold got lifted, then I think,
So where's he wanted from?
Judge, he is born
Kentucky.
out of Jefferson County, Kentucky for.
All right. Wixom. Thank you so much, Wixom. That is extremely generous. Thank you. The 3rd installment of the health debt. Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. Wixom, that's incredibly generous. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. We got a couple big milestones. Jedi and Tharina with the 6 months. Thank you both so much. 6 months is awesome. Happy year. Happy year. We had a couple 6 months the other night. We got another one. 3 months. Thank you for the membership, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. But yeah, seriously, guys, thank you so much for the milestones in Wixom. That is extremely generous. Thank you. Okay. All right. And no, Jay Hart, this is not a subset. He's just kind of an idiot. I don't like making fun of people, but yeah, he's kind of an idiot.
Wanton endangerment, 1st degree, and possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
Do we know when they can make it here?
I'm sorry,
Do we
Judge?
know when they can make it here?
They're planning on coming to pick him up, Judge,
Yeah, but
within
when?
the time period. I don't know the exact date they'd asked, I believe,
Daddy tried to get them this weekend. I think
yeah,
they couldn't
he
come
already
that fast.
contacted them. They weren't gonna be able to
It was pretty
come
fast.
immediately, but they are coming. They should be coming within the 2-week time period.
Morning, Mr. Davis. How's it going?
Too blessed to be stressed.
So here's the deal. You're wanted at Kentucky for 2 serious charges. One of them is willful and wanton, did you say destruction?
It is endangerment, Your Honor.
Sorry, willful and wanton endangerment. The other one is possession of a weapon by a felon. Okay? You've already waived. The problem that we had all the time and why it took so long was because, so he is on parole,
Yes, Judge.
right? But it took forever and a day for them to lift that parole hold for your case to move forward. Shreya, how much time did you put in to try to get the hold lifted, would you say?
I've got hours and hours and hours. Hours, lots of hours.
I mean, just give me ballpark.
I'm just gonna give you, and he has a copy of the file too, I would say 6 hours.
She's put in a lot of time. That's just to get them to lift the hold. I don't know anyone here in the 6 years we've been here that has put in 6 hours of phone calls and time just to reach out to parole to get them to release a hold. And luckily she did. Otherwise, you would be stuck like Chuck, just waiting even more. So you have waived. And the problem is that Kentucky is on their way to come get you. And they should be here within the next 2 weeks. She's told me that you, what does he want? What do you want? I guess. Let's start with that. What do you want?
I've been incarcerated since April the 8th.
Correct.
Not on a parole violation, but on the warrant out of Kentucky.
For both?
No, the parole violation hit 2 days after. My time started on the 8th. It didn't start on when parole hit. Parole told me that.
Time started. Time for what?
90 days for them to indict me. My parole lawyer and parole officer told me they had 90 days to indict me. If they didn't indict me, parole would lift the hold, and then it will be up to you to give me a bond or to release me.
There's no indictment here.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, again, this guy's just your regular court genius. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. We got a couple. What's up, Jay? 4 months. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the 4 months. Denali Mike with the 8. Denali Mike, OG member. Thank you so much, Mike and Jay. You guys are both awesome. All right, let's keep going.
Sir.
There's no indictment here.
I'm aware of that. Yes, sir.
The only thing that we want is for you to go back to Kentucky.
I'm not a Kentucky resident. There is no evidence that says that I've been in Kentucky. There's no evidence that says that I'm the person who they're looking for. You just have a name. There's no other evidence. I have an attorney that's in Kentucky who's talking to the DA, and there is no other evidence.
If your lawyer in Kentucky can get them to release the hold, then we'll release you here. But when they took you in, they were able to match your fingerprints and who you are, your identifying factors to the person that's wanted out of Kentucky. And that's how they put 1 and 1 together to come up with 2. And that's how they identified who you are. And unfortunately, you're wanted out of a different jurisdiction. Because that, we can't let you go.
So I can't get a bond or anything.
I mean, theoretically, but I don't know if I'm going to give you a bond, right? Was he on parole?
Judge, yes, he has had the parole hold. So to be clear, his 90 days has not started until the other day on the 18th.
Right, I get that, but I mean,
So yeah, he's on parole, Judge. And to my understanding, basically, if he were to refuse, then they would want the parole hold placed on him again, because they obviously do not want him getting out on a bond. So we would be arguing strongly against a bond based on his criminal history and the parole hold.
What's the parole? What's he on parole for?
Thank you so much, Leslie, for the $10 super chat. And yes, we will send him Skittles. We'll figure out a way to do it. We got to be careful though, because his staff likes to steal all of his Skittles. That's what happened yesterday. They took them all and gave them all back. I think he said, what did he say? It's like there's only orange ones left. You guys took them all, and then they just started laughing at him. But yeah. So, but thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it.
It is for, it was out of Fort Bend County. Looks like it's for aggravated assault, serious bodily injury.
Okay.
In 99,
How much time did you get on that?
I was 16. I got 35 years. I did 19.
Wow.
Since I've been home, my record has been impeccable.
Somehow you picked up charges in Kentucky somehow.
I see that.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
And Judge, you picked up the felon possession here in 2020 as well. It was dismissed, but
Guys, so you picked up also another felon in possession here.
yes, Your Honor.
Well,
It was ultimately dismissed, but that was a case from 2020 that was here.
in Harris County or in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ben? Oh, because I don't see that. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah. I just,
Sorry, there was another mistaken identity too. Like my parole officer even told me like there is nothing on that. That's why they dismissed it. There's no way that I would have caught a case and not been incarcerated or anything like that. I'm on parole until 2035, Your Honor. It wouldn't make sense for me to be doing something crazy and then not be locked up. I'm in custody
if
now.
the problem, but listen to what Katie said. So
Sir.
if I set you a bond now, the minute I set you a bond, they're going to place another parole hold on you, right? Let's say theoretically, I set a bond on you now for whatever it may be, 30,000, 20,000, 50,000, 10,000. The minute I do that, she's going to get on the phone. She's going to call parole. They're going to put another hold on you. And we're going to be in the same exact position we were before Shreya was able to lift the hold. So before you even get the money to bond out, you're going to get another hold. It doesn't make sense.
I made a bond down here. Will I be able to go up there and then make a bond?
No, because they're going to put a parole hold. Parole doesn't want you to get out. That's the point. So even if I set you a bond right now, she's going to reach out to parole. They're going to put another hold on you. And then you're going to sit for another 90 days while Shreya tries to convince them to lift the hold again. And then, well, probably at that time, they're going to be, well, why are we going to release the hold now? We know the judge is going to give them a bond.
I have a doppelganger in Washington that I covered. He looked like me. What was that, guys? Like a month ago? Maybe a little bit more? I don't remember what the charge was, but the defendant looked like me enough where I covered it. It was funny. We had fun with it.
Then they won't release the hold. I mean, if I was parole, that's what I would be thinking, right? The bottom line is this, is that the good news is that they released the hold. So now that you can get on with your business in Kentucky, go to Kentucky, take care of the stuff over there, and then hopefully it'll end in a good fashion so that you can just get out and get on your way. I don't know what happened in Kentucky. I have no idea, but I don't have jurisdiction to do anything with your Kentucky cases. I can't do anything. That's Kentucky. I can't dismiss Kentucky cases. I can't tell them how to rule. I just don't. I don't have that kind of power.
Yes, sir.
You
So
know?
if I go up there, I won't be able to get a bond either.
No, I didn't say that. I don't know.
She said parole will put another hold on me, so I won't.
Here in Harris County, when you get to Kentucky, I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean,
Judge, noticed that they are on their way. I was looking at the emails and it does look like they're planning on picking him up seemingly by the 30th, so, which is within the 2 weeks.
you'll be out within the next 5 to 6 days. With Kentucky picking you up.
No, sir. I would like to rescind.
Would like to what?
Rescind my waiver.
Okay, I'm not going to grant it. I don't want to go through the cyclical thing that we're going through. Mr. Davis, I want you to get on I want you to take care of the business that you got and then move on with your life. The only thing I'm going to counsel you is don't pick up a gun. Nothing good happens when you do. You know, you keep proverbially shooting yourself in the foot. You keep doing stuff that lands you over and over and over in jail. Stop. Life is not about sitting in a 6x9, not eating McDonald's, Burger King. You know, I really like those fruit tarts from Madeleine. They're killer, man. That's what life's about. Get on, move on with your business, take care of it, and then just be safe.
Were you the one who gave me the waiver to sign?
No, Judge, it was at magistrate court.
I don't know what that would have anything to do with it. Maybe we'll find out here in a second. Grizzly Old Fart, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships and welcome to the 5 new members. Thank you so much, Grizzly. That's awesome.
And I didn't have an attorney at the time, and you're telling me now that I can't rescind my waiver?
I'm not going to grant it, no.
Wow. Okay, I guess.
I want you to get on with your life.
I gotta wait, man. There's no way I can appeal that.
If I rescind this, you're going to get another parole hold. You're going to sit for another 90 days. I'm not going to do that. It's nonsensical.
Yes, I'm on parole to 2035. There's nothing that I can do about that.
If you sit here and wait till 2035, those Kentucky charges will sit with you. And then you're going to have to, in 2035, get on to Kentucky. You want to do that?
I don't mind.
Not smart, dude. Then you're going to be sit there forever in jail. Get that Kentucky stuff done. Perhaps by 2035, you're done with everything. All right.
Judge, a couple of things. So I just want to talk to the judge about anything else, or are we good?
Is there any way that I can appeal this process?
Oh,
No.
I think we talked
Is
about
there
that.
any way I can challenge it?
I think we talked about that. I think you want to fire me. Do you want to fire me?
How am I gonna fire you? They gonna come pick me up and
No, I just want to make sure you have any concerns about that. Now, here is the time, because I can't fire myself.
That's lawyers talk for. Please fire me. You mentioned it. I just want you to say it on the record so I can stop having to deal with you.
Do you want to? Or
I'm not taking her off your case. If you want,
I already knew that.
if you want a different lawyer, you're welcome to hire one. But what I would say, if you're going to do something like that, get yourself a lawyer for the Kentucky case, because that's what you really need to fight. Because if you can get all that stuff taken care of in a good manner, I bet you that they would keep you on parole so that you can get out and live your life. They'll reinstate your parole if all that stuff goes away. Here, in this case, you were correct. They filed the dismissal because they couldn't prove that you had a gun. So you were right here. If you're right in the Kentucky case and you can show it, they'll put you back on parole so you can get out, get on with your life. That's what needs to happen. And that's where your focus needs to be, on fighting Kentucky, not this stupid shisa here, because you'll be gone in 5 to 6 days. Focus your energy, your power on Kentucky.
I have no choice.
All right,
Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, best of luck, you bud, okay?
Yes, sir.
Victor. Yeah.
All right. Now we move on to Judge Webster's court. Now, this one happened, I think, last week. I think it was last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I just looked through my folder to try to find a short clip to end it with. Hopefully something to break the mood from the first clip. You know, Judge Fleischer always helps, but this one will change your it'll change your mood a little bit. Yeah, that's all I got. You guys are awesome. Am I good on super chats? Yep, I am. All right, let's go.
Be on the record in Davis, 2024 TR 272, State of Kansas versus LaShawn Marie Davis, with Devin Canfield for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who also appears in person on driving while suspended after prior conviction. Mr. Patterson.
And Judge, I would have the same or similar request on this one. Her first appearance, as I have read it, appears to be May 8th, 2024. So I've just been working with her a short time. and we're working on getting her driver's license sorted out.
And continuing this to September 23rd, Mr. Canfield. I'm sorry, Mr. Patterson, were you trying to say something?
No, I apologize, Judge. I was just trying to let the court know we are actually asking for continuance. Thank you.
Somehow I figured that. Imagine. And your response, Mr. Canfield?
No objection, Judge.
And Savannah, September 23rd at 9?
That works.
All right, September 23rd, Miss Davis, 9 a.m. That's another condition added to your bond.
Yes, ma'am.
And I do have some failure to appear, so make sure you don't do it again. We'll be in.
when did I have a failure to appear on this?
It says May 6th, the 2024. No, it was May 8th, 2024. You failed to appear.
I think that's when I came late to the Zoom.
Well, my notes say you failed to appear.
I did
and
not.
My notes also say that your bond was set at 1,500 cash or surety.
No, I showed up on that
And then May 8th, later in the day, you did show up. You said you forgot what day it was. You called the clerk's office, so they gave you the Zoom codes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I took your case up again and appointed Mr. Patterson. And you were ordered to go out and get booked and processed. And I changed your bond from cash or surety to OR. And I don't see that you ever went out and did that, did you?
No, I've been having transportation issues. I have somebody that's going to take me today.
Right.
All right. Yep. So I don't know if you remember, it was about 1 minute ago. Judge Webster was just about to let her go, but she had to talk. No, you were going to come back. You were. Now you made her read the file, which she should have done it to begin with, but you almost got away with it.
There we have a problem because you failed to appear when you're ordered to appear. I let you come in late and I set aside your cash bond and let you go out and make an OR bond, and then you didn't go. So we've got a real problem. You've still got an active warrant. Because you didn't go out and take care of your warrant like you were supposed to.
I've been trying to find a ride. I don't have any transportation, and I'm
all right.
driving.
Where do you live? I'll go get a police escort for you too. Where do you live?
I live at 2201 East MacArthur Road.
What town are you in?
Wichita.
Deputy, can you get her picked up on her active warrant? Give her a ride into town? Have law enforcement?
Well, I can have somebody take me.
Now you told me you didn't have a ride.
No, I just said I didn't have a ride at first. I just said I was going to have somebody try to take me today.
So you didn't have a ride on May 8th.
Well, because me and my
you've had until July 5th. Stop. You've had until July 15th, but you didn't go take care of it. So that means it was willful. You had a ride this whole time. You just were willful.
No, me and my acquaintance had gotten into it. The one that's giving me a ride, and we just reconciled. So we were actually.
You're not being candid with me, Miss Davis.
No, I'm being 100% honest. I swear.
Because you did not have a ride to take care of your bond until I said I would send the police for you. And then all of a sudden you magically have a ride. You're not being honest.
Ma'am, I said that before that.
All right. So, deputy, she needs picked up on her warrant unless she can get herself turned in first. So
Okay.
If you could contact Wichita and have them go pick her up. She needs a ride.
Judge Webster's Uber service. Whoever said that was good. That was perfect. Yep. Remember, she almost walked. She almost walked away from this. When did I fail to appear? That's not true. Uh-oh. Shouldn't open that can of worms. All right, guys. There's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes left of this clip. I'm going to let it play out. You know what time it is. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats, membership milestones, the gifted membership. You guys are awesome. Yeah, that's all I got. Not really any other news to say, so let's go hang out on Discord. Until next time, bye.
So if she doesn't get herself turned in at the Wichita Police Department right away, then I'm gonna
where would I need to
go get you.
Where would I need to go? Like I'm just trying to make
Well,
sure.
where's your local sheriff or local police? I mean,
I'll go to a local police station.
that's where one turns himself in when they have an active warrant. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if I needed to come down to Butler County or.
You can
I
turn
didn't know.
yourself in. You can go turn yourself in at any law enforcement. They've all got the warrant.
Okay,
Deputy, if you would confirm that that warrant is in the file.
'cause I didn't receive notification that I had a warrant, so I didn't know.
Your Honor, I don't show an active warrant.
Well, that, you're not showing that W on the file?
Yeah, I just looked. My YouTube is kind of glitched right now. All the streams that I could raid are from yesterday. They're all yesterday's live streams. So I just hit refresh and I was hoping it popped up before. I mean, we still have another minute. I don't know who's live though, because I don't know what's going on with my redirect right now. But YouTube's not liking me. Is KCC live? Yeah, we can do KCC. Let me try to find the link real quick.
That red W?
Please. It's in a different county.
You're not showing she made her bond, right?
No.
I'm showing an active red warrant. Maybe the file's not updated, but I don't know how it could be if.
Judge, she has an active warrant, just not in this case. She has an active warrant in Shawnee County. That has not.
Okay. Miss Davis, you stay on this screen.
Yes,
Don't
no,
you
my phone keeps
Oh,
closing
no,
down.
no, you get a cord and you plug that thing in. Deputy, get a warrant, get an officer to go pick her up.
Okay, that was 2201.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is, sir.
And I'm issuing a bench warrant because she didn't turn herself in on that last warrant I issued. So I did set the active warrant with the cash surety aside, but she still had to go out on the 2500 OR and she didn't. And she's had.
I didn't know I had a, what did my phone keep closing up for? Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, you don't need to be doing that on court. That's not appropriate language. Now, May 8th, 2024, you failed to come to court. I issued a warrant and I set your bond at 1,500 cash or surety. You did not come in until later in the morning or the day.
I know who KCC is. I fixed it. I just refreshed it. It took a second to load. Yeah. So we're rating KCC. I got it all set up. All right. Now I'm out. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.
I set the warrant aside with the 1,500 cash or surety, but I made it clear I was transferring that to a 2,500 OR on the condition that you went out and got your picture and prints taken. You were supposed to go into a breakout room and set a hearing or a time to get that done. Did you do that? Did you go into the hearing room?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, but then when the time came, you didn't go out and get your picture and print taken, did you?
No, ma'am.
Because you didn't have a car. Right.
No, ma'am.
And that's been, that was from May 8th to July 15th. You apparently haven't had a car because you didn't go out and get it done. But when I said I'd get you a ride today, you all of a sudden had a friend with a car. But I want you to stay put. Don't leave this hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. We'll be in recess on LaShawn Davis. We'll take that up again a little later, Mr. Patterson. People need to start respecting the order of the law, the order of the courts. And